Welcome back to Pixel Perfect Marathon number 2, where up next we have got SMMidi with Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury. It's all yours.
Hi everyone, I'm SMMidi. I've done a lot of 3D, or a lot of Mario recently, a little bit of other games, Wii, and also a bit of DS recently, which is fun. I'm a bit of a one-trick in 3D Mario, but we have 3D World today. It's a little bit different to most of the ways that 3D Mario works as a speedrun. It's a lot more linear. We'll be playing quite a few of the levels we come across on the path. In the main game, we're not playing Bowser's Fury, although this is a two-part game. But Bowser's Fury is not in this run. Maybe for next time. We're going to be playing the base game. We're going to start with Toad, which I'll get onto in a moment, and I will give a countdown for time to begin. So 3, 2, 1, go. So, this is Super Mario 3D World. This is any percent, and any percent means, by the way, instantly a difference between Wii U and Switch. There will be a lot of them today. Skipping the cutscenes. That is why this run is a lot faster than it used to be on Wii U. Not just that, but there are a lot of other reasons. We're using Toad at the beginning, and that is because there's going to be a lot of running going on in this level. Sprint speed is a lot faster in this version than Wii U, so we can very easily get up to the orange sparks appearing, and that is when our sprint speed appears. Doing a little bit of jumping at different angles there, and that is called vectoring. So vectoring is able to be used, just grab that green star. Basically, by jumping at angles, we're able to build up a little bit more momentum as we go. It's a lot easier to do this movement with cat suits, but you can do it itemless. Itemless is a lot more viable in this version. Yeah, pretty decent start there. And actually managing to get a 4 on the timer, if we got a 1, 3, or a 6 on the end of the timer, that would have given us fireworks. So avoiding that saves a few seconds each time we avoid that. Or I guess loses a few every time we do get fireworks. Either way. Now, we're also collecting green stars. Green stars are required in any percent. We need 170 to unlock the final level. So it's a little bit of a slightly different any percent. Most of the time we're just collecting stars, just main stars in the levels. In this game, obviously, there is not just one star per level. It's just the flagpole, and then the stars are sort of a side thing. So we have a specific route of stars to get. So for example, that one, almost falling off there. Very simple one to get. We don't really have to go out of our way too much. Now here, you might have been noticing I've been using gyro controls. Now, we would have been able to use them on Wii U, but that would have been the Wii U gamepad. So you can still use touch controls in this game, but it is slightly different because we do not have handheld mode. If you're playing in handheld mode, you can do that. Here we're going to just throw a green shell at there's a Goomba stack over there with a green shell in the middle, and that will get us the green star without even needing to go over there. And then we're using the warp pipe get to world 2. So yeah, there's a lot going on in this game to explain at the beginning, but we are using Toad, especially on that level there, because there's a lot of running going on. Toad has the fastest speed in the game. Here though, we are going to switch to Luigi. We are going to see 3 characters in this run. I will get onto why we're not going to see Mario, ironically, but here we will be using Luigi. Luigi has a higher jump, so it means we can climb things a little bit quicker, and also it's a lot easier to build up momentum with him for like vectoring, or there is a method I should mention called crouch boosting. Nice, I was able to keep that going. If you fall in the sand there, you pretty much lose all your speed. Going a bit risky here, not grabbing the checkpoint. Whoa, getting a little bit of a speed boost off that conveyor. Very nice. So there as well, using gyro to grab the stars slightly early. Basically, the stars normally take about half a second to start floating up when you can't grab them. But if you use the gyro controls, tap them with the hand, that will allow you to grab them straight away. So that is another level done. We want to get as low on the flagpole as we can. This is one of the few Mario games where that makes a big difference. Every time we do that, the Bowser flag just disappears. It doesn't have to fall to the bottom. That is why it saves time. for the most part. There are some where if we're high up on the flagpole anyway, we might as well just get top of the flagpole, and that might be slightly faster in some cases. So crouch boosting is another technique I should mention. So I won't be doing any of it here. It's a very high-level technical strat. Basically, you have several frames to... Let's actually press A to pick the character. So you have several frame window to do a sequence of inputs. So I don't actually do it myself, but I'm fairly sure the inputs you have to do. Essentially, the momentum you get is for pressing crouch, and then basically you get a small burst of speed when you crouch, which sounds a little bit backwards, which it is. It definitely does sound backwards. But essentially, if you jump as soon as you get that burst of speed within like a few frames, that will give you a bunch more speed than vectoring does. It allows for a lot more fast cycles, and if you have seen ILs in this game, that's definitely where you'll see a lot more crouch boosting. For me, it's not for me. I have managed to get by in this game without using it so far. And yeah, that level was decent. 2-1 was pretty good. Actually, that was a gold. I'm not surprised. Normally, something goes wrong there, and the good thing is in this game, you can do massive like Daredevil stuff, even in like marathon settings, because if you've got a catsuit, you can just grab a wall. As long as it's a wall you can actually grab. Of course, the later we get into the game, the difficulty curve of the levels is more of there are less walls you can grab as a recovery option, which is kind of how this game works. Considering that you can literally just climb most stuff to get yourself out of a pinch. Yeah, we are using Toad here as well. It's another one with lots of running underground. But if we were doing a longer run where we need the stamp, using gyro here to hit these flip panels a little bit quicker. Let me not get hit by the Goomba. I kept on hitting those footballs, the baseballs as well. I need to throw that one to grab that star. So I'm grabbing the star using the ball. I think one ended up disappearing because I hit a Goomba. Oh well, we're able to recover that room. But this would have been the level that we would use Mario on should we be doing a longer run like 380 stars, which requires most stamps. And that is because there is literally a switch that has Mario's emblem on, and you can only activate that switch if you're using Mario. That's the only reason he gets any usage. So, it's quite a funny one. Some people do use Mario. There are probably some leaderboard runs in any percent that choose to use Mario. It's really hard to find two separate runs that have the exact same combination of characters, because there's just slight variations of, Toad is more consistent here, but Luigi is faster if you're really good. So most of the time on those levels I'll use Toad, because it just won't be worth trying to save a few seconds trying to use Luigi, because Luigi just makes those sort of levels a little bit harder. So here using Gyro again, this is a mystery house. So we're going to see mystery houses in every even-numbered world, and what we're essentially doing, they're essentially little mini-boss rooms. If we fail any of these for whatever reason, we do have to do all 5 stars again, and there are some later on where there are 10 green stars, so definitely don't want to be failing any of those. They're actually using the gyro controls to make the Vibro T-pose, and just killing them pretty quickly, and again, able to grab the green stars quickly using the gyro. A lot easier to use gyro in this game than it was touch controls on Wii U, because Wii U you have to, touch the screen, and you're not able to hold the controller at the same time, really. Whereas in this game you can press R to activate the touch controls. Very much a nicer way of dealing with it when you get used to it. A little bit of adjusting when you change over from Wii U to Switch, but yeah, it's a very nice way of handling it. So they're actually holding the big Galoombas with the gyro controls. That basically means, and I did it in the mystery house as well, that essentially means they only have 1 HP rather than 2. Normally you have to hit them on the head and then they fall on their back, and then you've got to hit them again. So we don't just have catsuits that are new in this game, we also have the double cherry. I'm going to grab the green star there and go in the pipe the other side. So we only need one clone. Even though there is a switch at the end, or not a switch. Actually, yeah, it is a switch. It's a 4 lift. So essentially, if 4 things, or I guess players, including clones, are on that lift, then you will be able to... There we go. You will be able to activate the lift, and here it is coming up. So we only have 2. So how are we going to deal with this? I'm just going to climb the wall. And the funny thing is, it's even easier in this version. I even missed there, and we're still getting it. Unfortunately, getting a landing there, which is a little bit slow. It's even easier in this version because you can climb a lot higher. In the Wii U version, it was a lot less forgiving. But essentially, the way climbing works in this game, as it's pretty pivotal to the run, to the whole game in general, really. You can grab a wall and you can climb for a really long time. If you start running out of stamina, basically where the character starts like struggling to climb any higher, you can then let go of the wall using one of the trigger buttons, ZL or ZR, whatever you prefer. And then you can re-grab the wall for a little bit more height. So that does make it a little bit of a more forgiving game, especially for stuff like that, even though that trick was very much possible on Wii U as well. So this is an auto-scroller. There's really not much we can do here. This game does have a tendency, though, although there are a lot of auto-scrollers, to allow you to skip ahead. There's not much going on here because there's basically an invisible barrier here. You can only really go as far as the camera can scroll to. But at the end, there is a trigger. Oh, accidentally holding my own cannonball there with the gyro. Thing is, I like having gyro on all the time because for you to use the actual cursor, you have to press R to put the cursor on the screen, and then you have to press it again to actually use the hand. So if I don't have it on the screen at all times, I would then have to press it twice, and it's sort of in my muscle memory to only press it once. So we do need this cannon box, we need it for the end, and as I said, we can skip a little bit of the camera at the end. There's not too much going on here, but that's it really. In the downtime, I could mention stamps. So there are stamps in this version, and they are also carried over from Wii U. If anyone remembers Miiverse, that is what their actual purpose was. They have put them in this game as a decent function though. You can use them in snapshot mode, because of course Miiverse isn't a thing now. But snapshot mode does make a decent use of them. Unfortunately, we won't be grabbing any in the speedrun because we get a stamp collection book after every level that you grab a stamp in. So we don't want to be bothering with collecting those. And here is where we can skip a little bit of the camera, not doing the full skip, but that's fine. So during the boss, which is Boom Boom, and again, not too much going on here, apart from we want to hit him on the head on the first 2 and claw him on the 3rd, because that's apparently fastest. I can make myself take damage with my own cannon box, so I'm going to try and do that. Oh, never mind. Boom Boom is going to do it for me. Okay. I didn't want to end up stalling and just taking longer to actually do the boss fight by messing around. But yeah, you can make yourself take damage with the cannon box. It's even easier in this version because every character is faster. So, or at least I'm fairly sure it's easier in this version. I've definitely done it a lot more. So essentially, there are 2 ways you can fire the cannon box. If you hold the dash button, nice into the level there. If you hold the dash button, you charge up the shot and it like glows orange, so you get a faster shot. And I was doing that a little bit there. Or you can not hold X and it will just keep repeatedly firing shots without doing anything. If you do those slow shots, which is the second one I just described, that is when you can just start dashing towards the cannonball and make yourself take damage. Obviously you don't really want to, because we need that green star at the end. The good thing is in this run, if we were to take damage and lose that cannon box, we wouldn't need to restart the entire level, because we can just close it out and grab a backup star later on, because there are plenty of those. So here coming up we have 3-1. I'm actually going to use Peach here, because I've got in my notes to use Toad, but Toad does not seem to be working for me recently on this one. So essentially what I want to do, I want to grab that star using the snowball. Unfortunately it didn't work there, I'll just go in myself. So here I can press X a bunch of times to build up ice momentum. This was also on Wii U. It was even more effective on Wii U though, because of the fact that, oh my goodness, I don't know what that term was. I'm just gonna grab this without a snowball, that's fine. So it was even more effective on Wii U because this version is faster and Wii U was very much slower. Now, I can use Toad there, and Peach is very slow, so it's not great to use Peach. But if you use Toad and you end up, because Peach has the float jump, which is an extra thing with the catsuit, which just makes her have so much airtime if you need it, then it makes that skip a lot more welcoming. But if I end up not getting too much speed or anything with Toad, I'm pretty much committed once I jump, and then there's a chance I just die. I die in the pit, and it just makes it so much slower. But it's a funny little skip. So this is one of those levels I was talking about where there is a choice. No Mario in this speedrun. There's a choice between Luigi and Toad. I used to use Luigi a bunch until I realised that Toad is literally superior, unless you are very good at vectoring or crouch boosting on this level. Because it's very closed off inside, it's really hard to do anything with Luigi. So here what I want to do is I want to get to that point on that 4th bookshelf at the top, and then get off and immediately dive in the other direction, and that is bookshelf skip. So there are 2 sets of bookshelves above that one that you're supposed to hit, that would essentially reveal as a bit of a troll, and then that 3rd one that I just revealed, which was actually the first one for us, that is the correct one, and that uncovers the green star. So it's a very nice little skip. Doesn't save too much time, but once you know how to do it with catsuit, and you can even do it itemless as well, all you have to do is obviously dive in the other direction, then that is also a way of doing it. But of course, you can't readjust your height when you're doing it itemless because you kind of have to re-grab the wall. There's a troll flagpole, which you can bonk on the troll flagpole. As we can see there, it's not just completely intangible, it is there. So yeah, not too bad on that level. And then we are going to come on to a Captain Toad level. So we haven't actually seen Captain Toad yet. We will go back to World 1 later on to see the World 1 Captain Toad. But essentially, what this is a precursor to Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Amazing game. You should go and play it. Now, these levels are a lot more basic than the levels you'll find there. They're a lot more creative and open in that game. These are a lot more linear. Most of the time, if I fall down in these Captain Toad levels, I am going to have to do the entire level again. So, for example, if I fall from the from the top there, I'm going to fall most of the way down, and I'm going to have to go the long way around to get back to where I was, essentially. So, Captain Toad has his own power-ups. He starts as in super form and just taking damage at the beginning, just a damage boost. And then here, I'm just going to make sure I go up. This clear pipe is very temperamental. If you scroll the camera up, I've found that it just doesn't want you to go up in the clear pipe sometimes, and it's just slow. So there's not much going on in this level. There is one other thing I can mention though, and that is the fact that they added the function that is in Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, the actual game, where you can press A to interact with things. Because Captain Toad can't jump, you can do things like pull blocks out of the ground, like turnips and coins and things. Kind of like Super Mario Bros. 2, where you can like pull turnips out of the ground and throw them at enemies. Captain Toad can do that as well. Now that function is in this game. There are 6 Captain Toad levels in the whole game if you count post-game. Literally none of them have anywhere where you can use the A button for any purpose. The only thing it does is it makes Captain Toad lose his sprint speed, which is very useful for us. Of course it is. So we want to avoid A at all costs, pretty much. And here, this is a very quick level. This is actually one of the first levels we're going to not grab a green star. We are going to see a lot more of them later on. Now, it is also a 100-second level. So we're just going to grab this one. And again, another stamp switch over there. Well, if we're using Peach, we'd be able to grab that. I'm going to just wait at the flagpole. I'm only going to take 1 in-game second. to wait there. And as I mentioned earlier, getting fireworks is a lot slower than just waiting at the flagpole for the time to tick over to the next one. So I should mention as well with the Captain Toad and the Mystery House levels, they are all optional. So all the path that we have to unlock is essentially this little yellow road in the middle. Every time we beat a level on that path, we unlock the next part of the road. Let's actually kill him. Let's not miss one cycle. That would definitely have been a first. That's really hard to miss that in this version because of the speed boost. That would have been embarrassing. We're fine. We're fine. My career's still in the running. So yeah, basically the yellow path is all you need to unlock. So that level there, that mini boss, we had to play that. This level here, unfortunately, it's a water level, but we do have to play it. So the Captain Toad and the Mystery House levels, they're never on that path, so you never have to play them. But because we need 170 green stars, they make for very, very fast stars. We're unfortunately in the water, that's fine. Yeah, they make for very fast green stars, means we don't have to go out of our way playing more levels later on, which are a lot slower. So here, the only thing going on in this water level is the fact that we can do deep dives. So I'm just going to do one jump there just to get over to here a little bit quicker. So when we get into the water, if I hold the dive button down, we can do a deep dive, and that will progress us through the level a lot faster. Other than that, there is another green star we're going to skip here, and the reason for that is because we don't just have to do one detour, we have to do two. One of them would be going in that hole at the top there to grab a cannon box, and then the second would be breaking that little wall there to go into a bonus area with a green star. So we definitely don't want to be doing that. Then we get in this extra, this different exit, and at the end there, that movement, it looks a little bit difficult at first to get straight onto that pipe, but as long as you do that little movement that I did there, essentially doing ground pound and then pressing the X button, you do a new movement that's exclusive to the Switch version, which is the Odyssey dive. You can do that regardless of whether you've got a catsuit or if you're itemless. It's more of a roll, a mid-air roll, if you do it itemless though. It definitely doesn't look like it's out of Odyssey with a catsuit. But that is what I'm doing at the beginning of most of these levels. A lot of the time I'm using this movement here, but on the ground, to get our speed going. Normally on Wii U, you'd have had to use cat momentum, which is a little technique where you do a specific dive, and then you scratch the ground before you land each time to keep your momentum. Let's not hit that switch a bunch of times. We can't use gyro on that switch, so unfortunately I have to actually hit it myself. I have to play the game. So here I'm going to try my best to go around rather than go onto the normal path. Get onto this switchboard and then grab that green star. And gyro takes priority in this level, so I can literally just hold the the little side of the platform, just to make sure that we get it cleared as fast as we can. I'm going to grab the wall here because I did miss the green star. I tried to go for the fast one because I realised I was a little bit ahead, possibly, in terms of height. That's fine. Little bonk at the end. We're all good. So, two little skips there. Much easier with catsuit, although you can do different variations. But yeah, that first one I did there are a lot of death barriers around that, and especially if you're not using Peach. Obviously, Toad is faster because of his increased speed to Peach, but if you use Peach, you get that Peach float, which means you can readjust yourself a lot easier than with any other character. So next up, we have another auto-scroller, although it is not a traditional one. We can skip a lot of this. We can skip as much as we are physically able to skip. I'm going to go for 3 train jumps. And what a train jump is essentially, there are 2 trains in this level. Here we're going to skip the camera at the beginning. It does quite a lot itself, really. And then I'm going to charge up sprint speed. I'm going to get onto the other train. Hopefully. You can climb for a little bit but not very long. And then I'm going to go as far right as possible, because the further right you are, the more of the level you skip. And then I'm going to do one more here, which is on this platform. I'm not going to skip too much for doing that one, but I am going to get straight over to Captain Toad, rather than have to wait for the pipe to spawn in. This is the big one that saves me a decent amount of time. Now, I can grab this green star early, which I have managed to do, but that one's a little bit weird. So it's not very noticeable, but essentially, the way the cursor works with the gyro controls, you can only actually have the cursor get green stars early and things if it's touching something. So there, by the way, doing a rolling long jump at the beginning, getting an early hit, and then hopefully guess these correctly. Okay, we got one of the two. But yeah, essentially, if you don't make your character go in front of where the green star is going to spawn, it's probably not going to allow you to get the green star, because most of the place where it would spawn the green star, or it would stop the green star early, is over the void in the background. So the cursor just doesn't, or the hand just doesn't appear. But yeah, able to do it there, and the train jumps save a little bit of time for each one. Pretty decent level. That's normally my my choke point. In my PB, in terms of deaths, I have a PB that had 1 death, and that was the level where it died. So I'm not saying we're on for a deathless, but right now we're on for a deathless. So we're not currently done with World 3 though, and we do have another mini-boss to deal with. This is Histocrat. Histocrat's a very simple boss. Essentially, this boss is supposed to spawn in a bunch of snakes with plates. Sometimes they don't have plates, and those ones can make you take damage if you climb to the top. Or if you hit the top of that snake. Here we're going to use Luigi. And this level also does have cat suits, but they are not going to spawn in because I'm going to do the boss. I'm going to do a little bit of a trick on this boss to make it go a lot quicker. So I'm going to go behind, and I'm going to do a ground pound. You can do a spin jump instead if you want. A little bit faster if you're fast at doing spin jumps. And then just do the Odyssey dive onto the boss. You can do it without even doing the Odyssey dive, by the way. I'm going to do a spin jump on the last one, and hopefully we can get it. Yeah, there you go. So you can literally just do a spin jump, and that means that was possible on Wii U as well. Wait for the pipe to spawn in. As long as we're holding the ZL, the moment we are hovering over that pipe, we will be able to get straight in. I was waiting for no fireworks there, and then we ended up with them anyway. The curse of the 3 and the 1. It's so hard to thread the needle for the 2 on the timer to avoid that firework. That's fine. That's our first fireworks that I've noticed. So now World 4, there's a lot going on in World 4, as if there hasn't been already. So World 4 has lots of different route changes between Wii U. So in Wii U, there was a big skip. This game is very watertight in its world map, in the whole game in general. There's not much you can sequence break in a game that requires you to beat a level to unlock the rest of the path. And not just that, but literally the levels aren't even spawned in, as you can see, until you've beat the previous one on the path. However, there are levels that are not on that path, the ones I've mentioned earlier, the Mystery Houses and the Captain Toad levels. They are unlocked from the beginning, and that will make a difference in the run today. But also, on Wii U, essentially, if you got a World 8 out of bounds trick, so essentially you would climb on the clear pipe in World 8, which we're going to see later on. You would then fall out of World 8, past World 7, into World 4, and you would fall onto a little island that has the Mystery House. Now, as I mentioned, Mystery Houses are very quick green stars. Here we're going to do a damage boost, by the way. It's going to save me quite a bit of time. Ironic, this is a catsuit level, and we're getting rid of a catsuit. But it is worth it for our time save. So you could fall onto the little island that has the Mystery House for World 4. That gives you 10 green stars. So by doing that, it means you don't have to play the rest of World 4 to reach that level. So you can play that level, get your 10 green stars, and bail. That means, on Wii U, the World 4 route was playing the first 2 levels and using the warp pipe, the same as World 1. Here, though, because that skip got patched in its original form, we are going to have to do the rest of the world up to that mystery house so that we can play it. Because even though we have to detour to play these extra levels, it's still worth doing because it just saves that much time. Nice beginning there. So I actually don't like popping the catsuit at the beginning here. It's just a preference, really, because I often take damage there. And also, the movement I can do itemless is not too bad anyway. So I'm not going to pop it now, because chances are I'll probably pop the catsuit, and then we'll end up leaving the mystery box when it kicks me out. And then I'll lose my catsuit forever. There is a catsuit that we can grab, though, in a consistent roulette block setup. We have seen some roulette blocks already. I've not really bothered with them too much. I'm going to avoid that stamp there. I'm just going to focus for this timing. Nice. So, as soon as I land, if I press the R button to use gyro controls, that will always give you a catsuit. And that is because roulette blocks, here though, we're not going to use the warp pipe. As I mentioned, that was really weird momentum off that platform. I'm not going to lie. That's fine. That's just a little bit of a silly death. I won't attribute that one to my own faults. I've had a lot more deaths that are completely off my own back. Good thing is I can do the roulette block thing again. That's a nice timing. And it doesn't even matter. Well, I guess it does matter, because otherwise we'd have... Let's not die again. Okay, right, let me pop that. There we go. Now we're done. I almost died. Sure. That's fine. This is why I'll never have a damageless, or not damageless, deathless run in this game. I'm just cursed for it to never happen. So, yeah, we're skipping straight to the end. We will come back to 4-2 later on though, so we can grab the known green stars and just go straight in the clear pipe, the green pipe. So, because I have to play more levels, that means we have a mini-boss. It is a Brawler blockade. These Brawlers, we have to hit them once, and then we can throw them into the lava. You can also throw them into each other, and that will also kill them. There we go. Not bad. And then coming up 4-4, we're going to use Peach again. So the Peach levels, as I mentioned, her float jump combined with the catsuit gives you a lot of airtime. Allows you to skip a lot of gaps, a lot of void, bottomless pits, lots of interchangeable names. But here it's going to let us skip an entire trampoline at the end. So hopefully we can pull it off. We're going to use Peach. So we can still build up a little bit of speed with Peach, even though she's slow. Oh, that is not what I meant to do, but we're fine. I'm going to just wait for this one here, going to ground pound. I almost made it onto that first cycle, which I basically never make. So here, just making sure I don't do anything too silly with these. Yeah, this is a very popular song to use in videos, I guess. So here I'm going to pop that little enemy there. The others, they cannot be turned into trampolines. That one can, though. So here we want to skip the lift. Hopefully. That was very worrying, because if I didn't, I'd be itemless for a little bit. That was a very nice level, though. Could not have asked for anything else, really. So, next up, 4-Dash Mystery House, the level I've been talking about for the entire World 4. You'll see why these green stars are worth going for. Now, not just that, but for some reason, it's worth us playing 4-2 again, even though there are no green stars left to grab, rather than just closing out the world. There are literally just 2 more levels in this world, but it is faster for us to do that, so that is what we're going to be doing. So it is a little bit weird to see a level where we literally grab 0 green stars, but that is what we have. So I'm always using Toad on these mystery houses, because there's usually a lot of running involved. I just want to be doing some small side jumps. You don't get too much speed building up in these levels, and you don't really want to be risking it too much, because there's lots of, like this one, would be very frustrating if you were to fall off there. And there, actually, it's worth noting that there is a boost pad there. If we hit those boost pads, it makes everyone a really high speed. However, the way they operate is that everyone becomes the same speed. So if you use Peach, you're the same speed as Toad. Now, Toad is actually faster without the boost pads. So, or in this game he is. I'm not sure about Wii U, but in this version he is. So we actually want to avoid those for the most part. Sometimes it's just more convenient for us to hit them. Usually I do just hit it, because it's just more convenient. But there are occasions where you don't want to do that. So we are now on our requirement for this world. We're going to go and warp through the world map, because green pipes are very slow in the world map. And then we'll change back to Luigi. And this one's literally just a sprint to the middle of the level, where the warp pipe is. Midi try to remember what the warp pipe is called challenge. I don't know why that took me so long. Okay, so here we can literally just zoom through with the sprint there. You normally don't get to see that because we're going in the water grabbing the green star. And then here we can grab another cat suit, which is very convenient. That timing is essential. If you're learning this game, honestly, the one thing I can suggest, learn that timing. Because I used to time it wrong, and I always used to get a mushroom. I used to do it slightly early. Because of the way that works, it's not like other roulette blocks, because roulette blocks, they start ticking items when you see them, when they're visible on the screen. Thing is, with that one, you spawn out of a green pipe, so it's incredibly consistent timing for you to just press the button. I actually used to pause buffer those on Wii U. I'm really not sure why. I think it was just that useful to have a catsuit in that version. Yeah, if you took damage there, this is why 3D World is always known as, like, the glorified itemless game. Because, like, if you take damage, you just can't do anything. You can't speed up at all. You're just playing casually, pretty much. Like, you can't speed up much. You can speed up a bit, but not much. Here we are having to use gyro. So yeah, this level, they're actually hitting that block, that's fine. You can actually cut the corner on that block, but I've just chose not to there. You can't then cut the corner on the way back, though. You can only do it if you cut the corner both times. If you hit the block and then try to cut the corner on the last one, you're going to fall off and have to do the level again. So, I was mentioning World 1. So, hear me out, right? This is going to be fast, right? We're on 74 green stars. There's a level coming up we need 80 green stars for. We are going to go out of our way. He's going to start crawling to the bottom of the world. We're going to go in this green pipe that spawns in. We're going to go in another green pipe that spawns in. And we're going to go to World 1. Now, as I mentioned already, Captain Toad levels are unlocked from the beginning. So that means, even though we've not played the rest of World 1, which, by the way, if there was a bridge for the entire world, we would be able to play this at any point, regardless of whether that pipe was there. The bridge doesn't spawn in until you've played the mini-boss after 1-2. So we have to use the green pipe there to get here. Here, by the way, this is supposed to be a linear level, but the cycles are faster if we do the top stars first. Much faster as well. Saves literal seconds to do this. Just stunning those enemies there. And we are able to stun all enemies in the group there. So we've now grabbed our 5 green stars. So that's now boosted our counter a lot. We could have waited until we were actually at the bottom of the World 5 world map to do this level. But that would mean we don't get the green stars quick enough to unlock this extra level. We're now on 79. We're going to walk to World 5. Not World 1. We're going to walk to World 5. Mismenuing, no. 5-1. We're going to grab 2 green stars here. That puts us to 81. So here, this is a very interesting level to diverge from the 80 star count thing. Can you grab the green star? Thank you. So here, you actually don't need to... Barely making that. You don't actually need to do the keys here. So there are a few ways of making it to that island in the distance. One of them is to grab all 5 keys, and then it unlocks that mystery box, which conveniently puts you on the island. Of course, it goes without saying, that's the intended way. But of course, they've given us the capabilities to do whatever the heck we want in this game. They're not getting the green star early, unfortunately, that's fine. They've given us the capabilities to do whatever we want. So, if you crouch boost, you can get straight over to this island. And I do mean that island all the way over here. Or, you can do shell jumps, which is a very, very neat itemless trick you can do. It's more of a trick than it is a speed tech, but it is really cool that you can do it. And here we've got a forced Plessy section. This is actually the only Plessy section I'm going to be playing for this run. Every time Plessy appears is on a level we either skip because it's on a crossroads on the map, or it's a section in a level where it's a crossroads on the map and we also skip it. There are some levels where Plessy is the entire level, but again, we won't be seeing any. There are a lot of Plessy levels in this game too. There's like at least 5 that are in the main game, I'm fairly sure. At least like 5 Plessy sections, even if they're not for the whole level. I might be wrong in my counting there. That's just me trying to remember all the levels. There are a few, but we only see that one. So now, we're on our 80 green stars. We are going to see a fork in the road here. We can either play circus level, or unlocked level, or locked level with a Bowser statue. Now, the locked level with a Bowser statue is going to play another cutscene to unlock the level. So, okay, right. We've gone out of our way a lot to unlock this level. This had better be good, right? We're going to use Toad. This is the whole level. So I'm going to pop that there, grab that green star, and as we saw earlier, we don't even need to grab double cherries for these platforms. We can literally just go down. You can grab the green stars so quickly on this level that the sound effects actually overlap. And that's the level there. Unfortunately, we did complete it with the 6 on the timer, so the fireworks are coming in and making the level a little bit longer. But that saves us playing 5-2. 5-2 is a lot longer than that. And not just that, but 3 very quick green stars. So it's a very, very good one to do. Next up is a little mini-boss again. There are 5 charging chucks to deal with. Now, we don't see it too much in the run, but I'm going to try and make use of it here. There is an area of effect that you get when you land from a cat dive. If I can do it properly, I will kill them all. There we go. I have been struggling with that recently. That is not as easy as I used to find it. I used to find that a lot easier. So some people prefer, and it's actually slightly faster, if you go ahead a little bit, and then you go back again, because then they gather all in the middle, so you can easily kill them. Problem is, I don't actually know the consistent timing to start moving forward, so I don't choose to do that. I find that one a lot easier. So again, those enemies do have 2 HP, one for their helmet and one for themselves, but the area of effect just kills them instantly. Now, you can use gyro to make them, to pop their helmet off their head, but again, if we're using the dive area of effect thing, then we might as well just do that. So here, as long as I mash A on that second set of fuzzies, we will be fine. Reason for that is because, again, like a lot of things in this game, like the roulette blocks I mentioned earlier, they will only start moving on their cycle when you can visibly see them. So here, this is a great level to practice vectoring and crouch boosting and stuff. Massive open level. Here we're going to use the cannon though. It's going to skip a bunch of the level for us. And then here I'm just going to wait, because this one has a different cycle, because when you go in the big cannon, it then starts moving those fuzzies on, because you can technically see them. although they're very far in the distance. So here I'm just going between the two platforms here, almost falling off there. We are alive though. We are grabbing the final green star on the end, so I'm going to have to go out of my way. That's fine. Decent level, and closing it out with 3 green stars again. So we do start to see green coins. The last green coin we grab is where the star spawns. That is quite important to note, and we did actually see some green coins earlier, 4-2 I believe. So it is important to make sure you're saving an easy green coin, if you can, for the end, just to make it a bit more convenient. We have another fork in the road. The 5-5 on the left there actually doesn't unlock a level. This is the only one that unlocks the main path. So we are going to have to go through and play this one. Wow, that is weird. I don't know why that happened. I definitely just jumped there and it did not flip the panel. Anyway, there are flip panels in this version, in this game. These are carried over from Mario Galaxy. Very fun little mechanic. Essentially, if you spun in that game, then... No, let's not die. Okay, I'm going to have to do this. There we go. We're fine. Cool. So, because there is no base spin for every character in this game, they made it so you just have to jump to activate the panels, which does make it very hard to do that level fast, because you are anticipating, you know where the platforms are, you just got to jump on the platform. The issue with that is because, especially because a lot of those flip panels are over the void, if you fall off, you're just dead. There's no walls to grab or anything, so it's one of the first levels where, as a beginner, the effect of the catsuit being a good backup is really low. Oh my goodness, that was a bad setup. Let me do that again. Let me just do it straight rather than like going at angles there, because angles are fast, but that was not going to work out there. I was sure I was dead. So this level, essentially what I did there is skip the first 2 staircases. There I want to take the corner a little bit of an angle just to make sure we keep some of our speed. And then here we need at least 1 bullet bill to hit the wall, go into this mystery box. And here, the most important part of the run, we've got to pet the bullet bill. Got to pet the bullet bill. You can't do that mystery box without doing that. Then here, we're going to grab this this trampoline enemy. Going to throw it onto the grey brick here. Going to do a ground pound, which gives us a higher jump. And then the moment we get into that gap, we press X. So by doing that, you're able to get in there, grab the green star, and you actually go in the gap too. If you don't press X there, essentially you let go of the wall by just holding up, but you don't go in and you don't grab the green star. And as we know, you can only grab a wall twice before you start just falling down until you hit the ground again and then you get your stamina back. So we have to get in there and grab that green star, otherwise it's just a little bit slow. And then next up, another catsuit level, should we need them. It's Pink-a-Thunk. One of the easiest bosses in the game, gotta be. So the only thing we're contending with on this level really is the cycles. So they're grabbing those green coins, close this one out, and as I mentioned, cycles will only start moving when we go through that box there. So here I just want to get here at the right time, grab this green star, and move on. So there are 2 little square boxes on that cycle. That was bad. Just bonking into the wall for whatever reason. So there are 2 boxes on that cycle. One of them has the green star and the other one doesn't. So you can get there on that first one and just instantly grab the green star. And then here, the boss will always do the same thing as long as we are always in the same place. Very simple boss. We can even do those little Odyssey dives just to speed up our movement a little bit. You can just do jumps onto there though, as long as you land yourself onto that massive X, which is very inconspicuously placed. Okay, that was... Sure. I just did a long jump off the stairs and ended up going down. Sure. Whatever. That's the end of the level. And the end of World 5. So, you might notice, we're getting through this game very quickly. There are only 3 worlds left in main game, and we're literally about halfway through. So, how does that work out? Well, there's a lot more levels coming up in these worlds. World 6 is very big, which I guess is kind of traditional, looking at the more recent games. If I think of games like New Super Mario Bros. U, World 6 is massive. That's the rock one. It's just a huge world. And it's no different in this game. And it's probably worth mentioning 2D Mario as well. I don't think we could go this week, having the marathon this week, without mentioning 2D Mario. There's a lot going on with Mario. Obviously, new Mario game in October. Very interesting. Definitely looking forward to that. From a speedrun point of view, obviously we don't know too much yet. There, by the way, skipping the clear pipe so I can keep some of my momentum. Yeah, new Mario game. I mean, I'm much more of a better runner of 3D World than I am 2D Marios. I have done some 2D Mario runs before, but they're very limited with their time save because it's pretty much just making sure you're going at full speed most of the run. Whereas in the 3D games, there's a lot more variance to your movement. Here we're again skipping the clear pipes, by the way. And you can do this with any character. Yeah, exactly. 2D Mario, 2D Sonic, there's a lot going on. There really is. I mean, my only concern is that the Wonder Flowers could be unskippable cutscenes, which would be just a bit of a concern. Although I feel like the way they've shown it so far, they might be optional. I don't know. We literally know nothing. It's just me, like, speculating. How hard would I rate the run overall? Okay. So this run, compared to Wii U, this is way more welcoming on a whole different level. Because of the fact that you can... Let's not dive off the edge. Because of the fact that you can literally not have a single catsuit, and you can still do, technically, most of the movement. The only thing you lose with not having a catsuit is the ability to press X in the air to essentially stall. There, by the way, skipping the box, and that will allow us to skip the entire shipwreck. It will skip a star and the stamp, but we don't need the stamp, and we might as well skip the stars because it's a lot faster. Also, the fact that gyro is in this game, it makes sections like this a lot more nice to deal with. Without gyro, killing bullies is kind of difficult. Somehow getting a 3 on the timer, which is not helpful. So, yeah, I'd definitely say compared to Wii U, if you've run Wii U, it's definitely easier. Comparing to other 3D Mario games is a little bit difficult because I've only ever run Mario Galaxy a few times, and that was like years ago when there was no such thing as like using 2 controllers or anything like that, which I think is a great addition. Adds a lot more to that game. But personally, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in other games like Mario 64, obviously one of the biggest speed games of all time, has a lot of practice codes. That's where a lot of the usefulness or like stuff like that comes from, really. But this game isn't too bad because, like, while I don't know if there are any practice codes or anything like that, it's still not too bad because you can quit out of levels fairly quickly, and as long as you've got a save file with catsuits, you can literally just boot up the save file, and that was really smooth. You can literally just boot up the save file and get your catsuits back, as long as you've not closed out the level with less catsuits, or whatever power-up you're using. Sometimes people are using Tanuki suits. It's not always catsuit that's the best. We are going to see Tanuki later on. But I'd definitely say, in terms of like learning this game, there's not a lot of stuff out there that is like complex tutorials. Really, it's just doing these angled jumps, making sure that you practice levels a bunch of times, especially the later ones when we get into like World 7, World 8. They can be pretty brutal. So here we just want to make the boss go into the pipe and then hope he spawns on the same side. If he spawns on the other side, he's going to have to go round the castle to get hit. And that's the boss. So we've literally just come out of a catsuit level, by the way, and I didn't even really explain too much that was going on in the previous one. So basically, that level operates on global cycles for the rafts. And by using Peach, it means it's a lot more lenient for me to just grab the green stars as soon as we're able to, or as soon as I'm able to, and then make the earliest draft we can. The earlier one you get, the faster it is, of course. But it is not first cycle. There is an even earlier one, kind of known as lightning cycle, and that is only done in like top runs, like world records and things. Now that kind of requires crouch boosting, so no way am I going to be doing that. But it is a massive time save at the top level for anyone that does it. So here, this level doesn't even just have 2 catsuits, it has 3. I just made it missing the box there, that's fine. So here, as soon as I get in the mystery box here, I'm charging up a spin. For some reason, that did not actually make me do a spin jump. It just made me do a jump. But we're fine, still getting in the box. Using Toad there actually is a little bit harder because Toad does not jump as high as someone like Luigi. Normally in other longer runs where I'm grabbing stabs and things as well, or itemless, I might be using Luigi there, which is slightly easier because you can just spin jump straight into the box. You're supposed to climb around on that little conveyor and then get in there, but of course that's slow. Much like fireworks, which we just have more of. But yeah, that is the final catsuit level for a very long time, and this is the only thing that is kind of difficult to deal with. This is what I like to refer to as the gauntlet. We have basically the last third of this world with no catsuits, and we have about 2/3 of World 7 with no catsuits. Not just that, but there are a couple of really tough levels, especially 7-4. Probably, not just that, but the fact that I use a difficult character on that level. Probably one of my only difficult characters I use. I play very safe with my character choices. 7-4 is the only risky one, really. So here, I really couldn't go through this whole level without mentioning FTM, which is literally just the level's abbreviation, Fuzzy Time Mine, or Fast Fuzzies. And essentially what that means is, this is an auto-scroller, but the game doesn't care that it's an auto-scroller. Like, it's not an auto-scroller if you say it's not. So, what you can do is, this whole level is all unlocked. It's all there, all the little crushing pillar things, they're all working throughout the level. However, what you can do, and here, the only skip I'm going to do on this level is just go at the top here and then dive back down. Let's actually grab it though. Okay, that was really worrying. I actually didn't do a jump at the beginning because I was really close to the platform. I think it just flipped me back down to the platform. That was scary. We did manage to pull it off though. The first one is a lot more of a big skip though. So essentially, the whole level is spawned in. So if you know where you're going, you can do a lot of different movement, which allows you to skip the camera a massive amount. Saves like 20-30 seconds, maybe even more. Now, if you do that and then go back down, ground pound the clouds to get to that green star and then go back up again, which is another tight timing considering the moment you move on the camera is when the left-hand side fuzzies start moving towards you. It doesn't matter that the bottom ones haven't caught up to you, the left ones are still coming after you at the same time. Let's actually play the history house rather than just move on. Yeah, so it's a very interesting skip. The problem with that, especially at a marathon, if I miss it even once, you lose your catsuit, and as I mentioned, we don't have more cat suits for ages, and I would much rather show off all the other levels with a cat suit. I've only ever pulled off that trick once, and that was casually, and it was a massive flip. So here, this is what I like to call the most broken level in the entire game, because you don't have to really do anything. You can just use gyro controls to grab the balls and hit the switches. And that's it. We got 5 green stars for that. Yeah, the art style is definitely very different. I can imagine that's definitely up for preference. But it's a different direction. I mean, compared to like New Super Mario Bros. Has been a series that I do like the series. It's just that it's always been new levels of the same thing, or the same like idea and art style and everything. Except sometimes they like add in different things like hidden walls and stuff like that. But this just feels really different, and the first time, that's pretty much like the first time that's happened that I know of since like New Super Mario Bros. DS, which was new in itself. But it is very interesting. There's no timer. I've mentioned the in-game timer in this game a lot. There's no in-game timer that's actually in the game the whole time in that game. There is an in-game timer for stuff like the Wonder Flowers and stuff, but yeah. Definitely a lot to look forward to from the speedrunning point of view. But yeah, Super Mario RPG is going to be cool. So that's coming out. I can imagine a lot of people are hyped for that. Not just that, but a remaster is unexpected. I did not hear any leaks before the Direct, so I was pretty happy. So here, we are skipping a bunch of the camera, and I'm actually, well, didn't manage to use it there, but you can use the area of effect with the cat to just get the hit, and they're just throwing a bomb straight at that fire bro. Okay, I'm going to grab this green star as soon as I can. I don't want to go too far forward though, or out of the way, because the way this level works is essentially the top of the level, so in 2- Castle, which is the same concept, it's on a tank that you can't really skip very much. This one, you can fall off the level, whereas on the World 2 variation, you couldn't fall off, even if you, like, there's an invisible wall on the sides, even though there's pretty much void there. It's kind of like as if it was the illusion that it is a hallway, but you can see through one of the walls, sort of thing. But yeah, on that level, essentially, because it's a little bit more unlocked, what happens is it's very easy to go too far ahead, and if you go, say, you hold up and right, the game will just not want to go that way sometimes, and will try to throw you further right, which is obviously bad, because you're trying to judge where you are based on the shadows, but you can't see the shadow because you're ahead of the camera, and then sometimes you just die. So definitely something to watch out for. People do, myself included, I've lost multiple runs to that in the past, especially on Wii U, to the fact that, one, that level doesn't have checkpoints, so even if you have another catsuit to burn, you're still running on one catsuit for some very difficult levels, but also you have to do the entire level again, and not just that, it's very tedious to play a 3-minute auto-scroller all over again. So we now have another little mini-boss. This is Motley Boss Blob, and this is another little thing that you can do, which is very simple once you know how it actually works. I am just walking around the edge here. I'm not even holding sprint. I'm literally just going. And there's a reason I'm around the edge. So it's pretty difficult to notice, but basically every time, the actual boss is going to go towards the middle. Every time. So we can predict him a lot easier if we're going around the edge. Not just that, but it means we don't really have to worry about the blobs around him as much. But this does make the fight a little bit easier. The rematch one we're going to see in World 8 is a little bit harder because you have more to contend with. So I do like to grab the clones there. Clones are slow because you have to wait at the end and stuff, and wait in the pipe. So best case scenario, you lose like a fraction of a second using them, but I just prefer them for the safety. So we're now coming on to World 7, which looks very much like a final world. It is, of course, not. We do have one more after. A World Castle. This is World Castle, where numbers don't go past 6 in this game, apparently. Or world numbers, anyway. Even after the main game, post-game doesn't even use numbers either. So here, hitting that fire bro with the gyro means he will just go straight back to the other side. And then here we are going to skip a green star, just make sure I don't zoom too fast there, otherwise I'll go off the edge. And here you can actually skip the clear pipe. It's not really worth me doing. It's more worth it if you do crouch boosting. But you can skip this clear pipe and climb up this... Where are you going? I know Luigi's supposed to have slippery physics, but come on, I am holding down. What are you doing? So here, very important to note, when you hit the flagpole, you are invincible. So that fire bro there, we don't have to worry about him. So one other thing that hasn't really cropped up yet is the fact that there is a strange difference between Wii U and Switch with regards to coming out of pipes and boxes with no momentum. So on Wii U, say you come out of a mystery box or a clear pipe or a warp box or whatever, you would keep your momentum if you jumped straight after, which is one of the only things that was faster about Wii U. However, in this game, it's just not a thing. So that's why, rather than actually trying to build up momentum after a mystery box or anything, once I've actually completed the green star, I'm just kind of jumping around, doing nothing really, because there's not really much we can do other than wait for the mystery box to kick us back out again. Now here, I am trying my best to play safe, because this level's very mean. I have had a record of 3 dropped inputs on a single play of this level before. So essentially, because these boost pads, they're on different elevations, we're just going to skip that clear pipe. There we go, very nice. Because they're on different elevations, it means that you get lots of dropped inputs sometimes. We didn't actually get any there, we got quite lucky. I'm not sure how exactly the dropped inputs happen, they just do. But I would say my average is about 1 dropped input. And that does include the times where we get 2 or 3. So it's another level that's very fast, but with no checkpoints. But the annoying thing about it, if you do die, is the fact that you're going into the next level with 1 or 0 catsuits. And here, I used to use Peach, I now use Luigi. This is a pretty difficult level. So I'm going to be doing a lot of focusing, and apparently I wasn't able to recover that there. That's fine. We've got 1 more catsuit to burn. We're on slightly different cycles because I had to pop the catsuit at the beginning. Oh, that was scary. Okay. Right, we're on. Let's just land over here. Okay, that was scary. So what I'd normally go for is I would try to land on that platform with the stamp. The issue with landing on the platform with the stamp is that if you grab the stamp, you lose like 6 seconds after level. And 2, if you miss the edge of the platform, then... Unfortunately not keeping my momentum there, that's fine. If you miss the edge of the platform, you just die, which is obviously even worse. Oh, that's unfortunate. So I am going to lose time on the next level because if you don't go into the next one with a catsuit, you will have to go the long way around. Also, not just that, but I am going to have to kill these bullies at the beginning rather than skip. Let me kill you because I can't actually get you with the gyro very easily because you're facing the wrong way. now we're gonna go. Ah, I still got fireworks. That's fine. We did manage to get through the level. Debatable, but we did get through. So you can see why Peach is a lot safer there. Luigi is fast, and when you pull that level off with no mistakes, it is saving a bunch of time. Something I don't do a lot of in any percent. I don't play very risky strats. But we are still here. And the good thing is, the next level after this one will have one catsuit for us. So here, I want to make sure I'm playing as best as I can to allow a one cycle to happen. So... Oh, I've just lost it. That's fine. So essentially, if you keep both those boulders alive without RNG lava rocks coming at them, you can use them to then get hits without him needing to spawn more in. But that's fine. We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait for 3 more to spawn in and then close out the loss. So that saves about 7 seconds, it looks like, if you get a one cycle there. Give or take. But you can sort of maximize your chances by making the boss be as far away as possible from the boulder. If you throw the boulder really far over to the edge of the arena, without obviously making it fall in the lava, then there's less chance of a rock hitting it then. Let me get on... Okay, never mind, we missed the cycle, whatever. So we'll grab this catsuit, and you can see now why not... This is like one of the only times where, like, even though it is a catsuit level... why am I going this way? Whatever, I've committed to it now, we have to go this way. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, even though it is a catsuit level, the catsuit isn't right at the beginning, so you do lose a little bit of time if you enter without a catsuit. Here, we're not even going to bother with the lift, we're just going to do a rolling long jump, and as long as I hold crouch at the end, you will end up not... Let's kill that enemy, good. I was worried about that there, we'll just skip a different key. We're not going to kill this enemy. Can't play risky. So I want to kill as many of these enemies as I can before we reach the bottom, or reach the top rather. They're actually grabbing an early key at the end. Does mean the camera has to pan less. Not just that, but it means... Wow, nice. Straight in the box. Very good. It means that normally, if you grab every key on your way up, the level's intention is to start scrolling as soon as you are grabbing that final key for the escape sequence to start. But as long as I do that one not last, that means that you can just turn around and makes it a lot easier and nicer to deal with. So we're back to Captain Toad. This is a very gyro-heavy level. So I'm making a lot of use of it here. We do have to go the long way around at the beginning. But you can use these swamps to give you a little bit of a lift to the top of the arena. So I want to keep sprint speed as much as I can. So here I'm not going to stun that swamp because it's already at the bottom there for us. I am going to stun this one though, and then I'm going to stun this one. As long as they are right at the top or right at the bottom, then we will do exactly what we need to. I don't want to stun them for too long though, because like that one, technically it would have been faster if I let go about half a second early. Because once you let go, they stay stunned for about a second longer. So it's very difficult to have an optimal 7- Captain Toad. And then we have another technical level coming up, 7-7. It's a very quick one, but there's a couple of difficult jumps. So right at the beginning, hovering straight into the lava. Of course, that grey platform spawning in just in time. And then here we're going to try our best to skip as much of this as we can. Because I get there fast, it means that the grey platform is still there. Grey platforms are the ones on this level that do sink into the lava. Greens and blues, they're all safe. But the greys will sink into the lava. And then here, you can actually skip this clear pipe, but it's a bit risky because you're going to have to deal with that. And that enemy is an instant kill if you hit. So if you want to skip that clear pipe, you essentially... That was really nice. I was expecting fireworks there, so I'm glad I went for that. So you can skip that clear pipe by doing a massive jump over to the other side. Problem is there's a massive activation area around that clear pipe, where if you hit it, that enemy spawns... and it can spawn more than once as well. So that's the only thing I don't do right now on that level. I used to do it, but the issue is, if you avoid that trigger, which you can, it means you're having to do a massive jump over to the other side, and you even have a chance of going into the next enemy that is there. So, personally, right now, I just choose not to go for it. Here, even though we're only on one catsuit, we would need to lose one anyway. Well, we on two. And that's so I can do wall jumps. You can't actually wall jump with the catsuit, because you just start climbing instead. And then we're going to change straight back to grab this green, do a dive on that platform, start getting our speed moving again. And then we can wait here for a little bit, grab this green star. And then I'm actually going to, hopefully... Actually, no, I'm using Toad. Let me not do that. I was going to try and do the skip. So essentially, you can skip this platform. You can just go straight to this one. The problem is, because I'm not using Peach, it's kind of hard to make sure you have the exact timing to get over there. And enough speed as well. So here, this boss actually does appear in World 1, but we didn't see it earlier. So, essentially, this boss is going to fire footballs at us and fireballs. No, let's not do that. Okay, I've just made him go forward. This is going to make it a little bit harder for me. Let me just pay attention to how far forward I'm moving. So I always have to be moving forward for him to attack us. And the boss spawns a lot more fireballs on this version than on World 1. World 1, there are only 2 fireballs, I think, optimally. So essentially, as long as you're moving forward, he will always start attacking you. You can fire them ahead using gyro, and if you hit him in the head, points appear straight away. Whereas if you don't hit him head on, and you hit the car, you need 3 hits for points to appear. That means you need 3 sets of 3 hits, rather than just the normal 3. Very, very fast if you use gyro there, and you can literally just hold the purple trim of the car and just make it go into his face, and then that's it. Again, a little bit hard to get used to. Sometimes the footballs will just go in a seemingly random direction. Yeah, we do have an unskippable cutscene here. For some reason, they wanted you to see this one. The rest we can skip, for the most part. So, we have one more world. Because we got to go and save the fairies again. So this is the clear pipe I was talking about earlier, where we can actually climb on this clear pipe and allow us to do an out-of-bounds trick here to fall into World 4. Now that does exist in this game, except you have to use 3 controllers. And I'm fairly sure people recommend at least 2 Pro controllers for the skip, rather than a Pro controller and 2 Joy-Cons or something. So, essentially, when you spawn in characters in the world map for the first time, like, when you spawn them in for the first time in that session, they will bubble to the character and then they will pop. Kind of like you can bubble in the actual levels. So you basically walk to the other person. The way it works in the world map is everyone is controlled by player 1, and they all just go in like a long line. But what you can actually do is if you position them in a very precise way, you can actually make it so that one of those characters ends up over the invisible barrier, over the world, over World 8, and so nice early cycle here. That's a dodgy jump, but we're fine. Very, very smooth level there. Yeah, so you can actually position it so one of the players goes off the world map, and then you can do the skip as normal with that third controller. Right now, it's actually banned in any percent, because any percent does not allow the use of multiple controllers. Some runs do. 380 stars, for example, that does allow multiple controllers, because there's actually a collectible you literally can't get without using multiple controllers in one play of the level. You actually have to play it twice. The way the level works. Why are you going up? This is a go right level. What are you doing? I think it's because I had 8-2 in my head, which is the Plessy, and I don't really play the Plessy level here now. This is technically faster, but often I will do at least one mistake here that makes it not faster. PB potential. Good question. I am 16 behind right now, which is very good, honestly. I've only ever had 2 sub 140s. Sub 140 is the big goal everyone goes for in this version. And I've managed to do it twice, and we are currently on that pace. Obviously, there are a lot of difficult levels coming up, and I don't know if I've got any more deaths. To be honest, that dive, I thought, where am I actually landing? This is not great. Yeah, I'm not sure how much more time save I have. To be honest, there's been like 4 deaths so far, and not a lot of them have been my fault. That was a bit of a silly one. But honestly, I don't think it's killed our pace. Oh, we ended up in the clear pipe. That's fine. That's not too slow. So there, normally you want to actually go round on that clear pipe. You don't want to... Yeah, we are still on sub 140 pace, barely. So you can sprint on that clear pipe, and especially as Toad, because Toad's so fast and gets sprint speed and everything, you can just run across that clear pipe. The issue with that is that clear pipes, especially if you're familiar with stuff like Mario Maker, they're broken into 2 pieces. The bases and the actual main part of the clear pipe. So the launcher at the beginning, that base part, that is slightly bigger. So that means you actually fall a little bit to get onto the main part of the clear pipe. So you do have to be a little bit careful. But nothing happened with that. Now this Goomba is my nemesis. Last run I did, that Goomba followed me all the way to there, made me take damage, and I had no catches left, I don't think. Or either that or I had 1 left after that. Obviously right now I have 0. So that would be very not good if that happened, if that Goomba trolled me again. I think it's because that Goomba was on its own, it wasn't in the stack anymore, that it was a lot easier for it to just come over and follow me. So I'm not taking any chances anymore. I'm just... No, it's not happening. Creeped up on me for ages and I just didn't notice because he's normally not a threat. So these mini Goombas, can't really do too much with them. You used to be able to blow on the microphone on Wii U, and you could just constantly do that in that room, and then it would prevent it being much of a problem. No, didn't want to do that, that's fine. And we're back to Pom Pom. Hopefully we get an early hit here. So another rolling long jump, as long as it's the big rolling long jump, there it is. So there is a way, I've heard, I believe, where you can find the correct pom-pom here, and it's a tiny little orange particle or something that doesn't appear for the others. If you find that, then that is the correct pom-pom. On Wii U, it is a lot easier. There were lower smoke trails for the correct one. That is fixed in this version. So we now have a couple more difficult levels coming up for a breather. So we have to deal with one catsuit for the next 2 levels. If I lose this catsuit here, this will end up making 8-6 very slow. And it will actually mean we cannot do one of the strats. So I'm going to be very safe here, hopefully. Well, as safe as I can be on a level where you can't see the platforms. Rare moment where I actually stop talking. Have to be careful with those spike bars. You know what? I'm actually going to grab a boomerang because I really don't want to get to 8-6 and not do the strat. I'm actually going to do the rest basically itemless here. Like, I really don't want to get to 8-6 and not do the strat. It saves a lot of time. And not just that, I want to show it off. Or at least have an attempt at showing it off. It's not too slow to use. Not cat here. As long as I don't die. Don't do that now I've said that. Okay, we good. I lose like, I don't know, 5 seconds. But also, fun fact, because it's not really happened so far, when I don't have a catsuit, normally we have this thing, there's a gimmick in this game where you can climb the flagpole and basically get to the top of the flagpole easier. Kind of makes it a lot more welcoming for stuff like golden flagpoles in other runs like 380 stars where you have to unlock the end, the post-game world crown. You need all gold flagpoles for that. So that makes it a lot easier for stuff like that. However, if you don't have a catsuit, you just grab the flagpole straight away, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. Here I'm going to make the platform go, and then we're going to grab this light box. And then dive straight down. I actually went a little bit early, so we'll do a Odyssey dive to finish it off. My input got dropped there as well. That actually hasn't happened so far in the run. Basically, inputs get dropped sometimes if you try and do something like a jump immediately after you grab a collectible specifically that hasn't already been grabbed. There is a slight difference. Basically, they're like small lag frames. It's pretty difficult to notice, but if you go from a existing file and all the green stars and the stamps and stuff, they're grayed out because they've already been collected. It essentially... There we go, nice. It essentially means you don't get the lag frames when you're practicing. Yeah, so using Peach here means we can just skip that second platform as well. And then here we're going to try and do a very complex strat. I'm going to go on this earlier candle, that's fine. So basically we can jump on these candles. Problem is they're sloped and they're tiny. So sometimes we won't even get a jump. Oh, like there. I actually pressed A and it just didn't do anything. Now we're in a bit of a rhythm. I can just keep on jumping. And that was pretty nice. That was actually probably the best I've ever done that skip. And I didn't even do the earliest candle. And that's the level. So that saves a lot of time rather than playing that whole lift. That lift is very, very slow. So you can use those candles to jump, and actually you can only change the camera angle in that section if you're on the wall. If you go on the lift there, you can't change the camera angle. So yeah, it's very hard. I don't even know if it's even possible to do that skip without cat. It probably is. People have probably found a way, but it definitely justifies me playing safe in 8-4. Now, we're on a Mystery House now, and this one has 2 catsuits for us right at the beginning. Probably because it's called Mystery House Claw Climb. That makes sense. So both of those are guaranteed to have a catsuit. They're not based on, oh, you're small toad, here's a mushroom. You always get a catsuit from both of them, which is quite nice. But this is another level where if we fail a green star, or we die or whatever, then we're going to have to do the whole thing again. And that is quite important because technically we could fail on the final green star quite easily. Especially if we're doing this itemless. What am I doing? I'm supposed to just do the, the grounded Odyssey dive. Why am I doing long jump? That's fine. playing a little bit safe there. Didn't really want to dive off the edge. You can die even after you've grabbed the green star here. And then this final one. If you end up falling off these platforms, it's basically over. You can save like a fraction of a second on each one if you jump and then dive back onto the next platform. But the time save is tiny. I can't describe how tiny the time save is there. It's just not worth it. Not for me. So, star check. We have 3 on the next one. We have 2 mini bosses. That gets us to our 170. We are on the number of stars we need. Which is good, because there are no more backups. There haven't been since 8-3. So this is 8-7. We are going to see Tanuki. I don't use Tanuki very much. But this is the one level I use it for. So there is a skip we can do with Toad. It's going to be a massive moon jump after the checkpoint. I get 1 shot at this. Otherwise it's not fast to do it anymore. So here, while it's hovering, we're just going to go over to this star. Dive over here. And then make sure I don't do the finishing landing. Otherwise that'll be slow. Grab Tanuki out of that box. Get on the platform. And grab the checkpoint. And then here... as long as I do it properly, we can charge up sprint speed. This is worrying. Okay, no, we're fine. I was just a little bit lower than I thought I was. We're good, we're good. And then here, we are gonna... okay, never mind. You know what, I'm gonna change to cat suit. That's fine. Yeah, so the issue with using Toad, although we skip an entire Grumblump for doing that skip, which saves a lot of time, we are now on a platform that is moving and is very much trying to kill us. If you go too early or too late, you're going to end up not on the platform anymore. Yeah, getting that star one. That's worrying. Yeah, it's very easy to just fall off of here. There's nothing we can do with gyro here. Technically, it's faster to do ground pounds on these Grumblumps, but I'm choosing not to do that. And because I've got cat suit, I can just go straight to the end. Yeah, World Record is something else in this game. If you've not watched World Record, it's actually been beaten recently. It used to be held by Luigi Master for the longest time. Shoyu now holds it. Shoyu Parfait. Very, very good runner. Unless it's changed hands again. But there's a very high skill ceiling with the crouch boost in this game. The only big thing I'm going for right now is a top 10 time in 380 stars, which I think is going to be very difficult. I think like 9 out of the top 10 right now use crouch boosting, so it's definitely not going to be easy, but I do want to try and go for something in Mario right now. And while I get to the end of the run, by the way, I should mention, if you're looking to get into this game, I know it came up earlier about me mentioning getting into 3D World and how welcoming it is, and as a game itself. I have notes. So there are not a lot of routes, especially in this game. I've come across a lot of games in the past that don't... oh, we lost that cat suit, that's fine. That won't cost us too much time. I've come across a few games in the past that don't really have lots of like easily available like routes. Basically, I have a Google Sheet that has notes for all of my games from the past like year, and this game is included in there for basically all the categories I've run. So if you want to get into this game, I also do have an archive of my old one, so it's kind of like, here's my 1.0 beginner version, and then here's another one that implements a little bit more difficult levels, like Luigi on 8-4, 7-4 rather, and stuff like that. Also very useful for runs like 380 stars, because it also describes where the stars are on the old version, which I used to struggle with a lot. Remembering where things are is the hardest part. I don't think I've had a 380 star run in months that hasn't forgotten at least one collectible. So here I could grab Catsuit. I've decided not to. There is a Catsuit at the beginning in Hidden Block. I can't just do it with an Odyssey dive as normal though. Just means in the next level I'll have to grab a catsuit at my earliest opportunity. So this is the exact same as the boss fight before, just reskinned. Motley is a little bit harder because there were those little waves that damage us if we hit them, which makes our strat a little bit harder, where we just run around the edge. And then here again, no catsuit, so no waiting for momentum, we're straight on there. And unbelievably, I'm literally like 4 seconds behind PB. I don't think I can PB, because I don't do Meowser skip, and I don't know how to do it. But that is quite something. I've died like 3 or 4 times in this run. A lot has happened, so I'm very happy with this. We're going to the final level. We have 170 green stars. We're going to use Luigi again. Yeah, I mean, I will be happy if I just add another one sub 140 to my list, honestly. And going by that, I've got like 40 seconds to burn. We can do this. We can get this PB. Oh, not PB, but oh, come on. Okay, now I'm not even getting a catsuit from where I want to. That's fine. Yeah, so this is why I'm probably not going to PB. This is going to take a lot longer. Because I really don't want to risk it now. But yeah, I'm like 5 to 10 behind now. But that's fine. Still on sub 140 pace. So I should mention Meowser skip, as I mentioned. Meowser is the name that we gave to the boss. Although I don't think he's ever officially called that, but he should be. We can skip the cutscene, which is why Meowser skip doesn't save as much. Essentially, if you do a massive jump from where Toad is with that lift, Captain Toad stands there. If you do a massive jump from there with crouch boosting, you can skip into part way through this first cycle of the boss. That saves a lot of time. It used to save like a minute and a half on Wii U. It obviously is harder in this version because they've patched some of it, so it's harder. You can still do it, but it is harder to pull off. But not just that, it's literally the last thing to do in the run. Or one of the last things. And also, because we can skip the cutscene by just pressing plus, which is only in the Switch version, yeah, it just means that the time save is a lot lower. It's just not worth going for. And not just that, the most important thing, it skips the music. I just didn't want to do that skip on Wii U just for that reason, really. Okay, let's not, like, take damage on the boss, please. So here we do have to wait until the invisible wall disappears. There we go. And there's one more thing to do. So that is not the end of the game. We need Meowser to clone himself lots of times. But what I can do here is I can use the audio cues and also the vibrations of the controller and stuff to work out where I am on the left side. I'm going to try and do a camera skip. I'm going to go for it early, just in case I can pull off a PB from it. Although I have no idea where I am, so I don't hold out much hope. Yeah, I'm dead. I can see... Okay, that's really funny. I could see my shadow in the background. You know what, I'm happy I went for that because there was no way I would PB without going for that, so... I could see the shadow in the background of Luigi just falling. Just a shadow through the building. Alright, that's fine. So we will then grab our next catsuit we can get, which I think is on this platform. No, it's not on that one. It's on one of these that's coming up. So I do have to wait for Meowser to stop doing these attacks. Yeah, I don't really know exactly where I was when I died, but that's fine. So some of these clouds are actually moving, which is why this skip is hard. Yeah, let's actually get on the stairs, please. So every opportunity here, we're going to skip a little bit more of the camera by moving forward. But I don't want to play too risky because there are no banisters at the end. You can die very easily. And then here, 4 hits on the boss. And we have about another 50 seconds to go before time. So that does mean we're getting a very low 140, I believe. So, really nice run. Happy with that. So time is going to come up when points appear on the flagpole, and it's important to note again, the stamina with the cat suit means that points won't appear straight away. But what I'm going to try and do is get as high as I can on the flagpole and get gold flagpole, because the moment we hit the top, that's when points are going to appear, because stamina stops slightly early. And it's coming up in about 3 seconds for time. And time. 140. If I didn't risk it, I'd have got 140. But I had choice. I had to go for it. That is decent. Yeah, very much happy with that. Finishing quite underestimate there. So, yeah, happy with that run.
140 in 10 seconds, a very, very good run. And that was so good to watch. So many crazy levels and like blink and you'll miss it moments. That was amazing. Where can our lovely people find you, Smidi?
So, I have streams up on Twitch. Normally do streams most weeks of this game. Right now, this is one of my main games, although I'm taking a bit of a break to do We Play speedrunning. We Play is actually on PPM later today. But right now, there's a lot going on with that game too. But I am still kind of actively playing this game, and yeah, looking to learn more Mario games soon, as we've already mentioned. So maybe that's what I'll have in store next time. But yeah, we also got the Discord. You should also go and join the 3D World Discord. There's a 3D World and Bowser's Fury combined Discord. And also there's a Wii U section in there if you're running that game too. Because there's, as I've mentioned, quite a few differences. Yeah, and as I said, if you want to get into this game and you can't find a route easily, my old route is available. I have a route document in pretty much on my channel. There's a command for it, and then you can find it in there, and it just means you don't have to plan ahead too much with the characters you're using. You just use those ones on there. But that's pretty much it. So yeah, thanks for watching the run.
That was absolutely fantastic. And you know what? We loved that run so much, and we're also quite a way ahead of schedule that, Smidi, I believe you've got a bonus for us.
I do, yes. So I'm going to boot up my existing 380 stars save. We're going to go and bin some of my cat suits on Champions Road, and then we're going to do a World Crown itemless incentive. So this is an extra run I will do. I'm just going to get rid of the cat suits. So I need to make sure I do this first, otherwise we're going to be using those during the run. So now they're all gone, I will quit the level. We now have none left. So essentially, this wasn't planned, but again, because we're ahead, we're going to do this as an extra thing. So essentially, there are 3 levels in World Crown. This is a post-game world. We've got Captain Toad level, a Mystery House level with 30 green stars, and Champions Road. We are going to start with Captain Toad. This is an estimate of 15 minutes. Hopefully I'm able to complete all 3, because as I've described with, like, if you fail a green star in the Mystery House, you have to restart the whole thing. So it's very difficult. I am going to hopefully be able to pull this off, though. So yeah, we're going to start with Captain Toad, and this is actually optimal for the menuing. We're going to do Captain Toad and then the Mystery House after. And then do Champions Road at the end, which builds up the suspense. So I'll give a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. So, not only is this itemless, but I am going to be using Luigi for Champions Road, because we could use Peach. But where's the fun in using Peach? Peach has the Peach Float. That's basically an item, and we're already using gyro controls. That's the most powerful item in the game. So, we are still going to be using gyro, and actually it's quite important at the beginning here, so I can get rid of this fire piranha plant. So you can actually throw the fireballs back at enemies using the gyro controls. So the normal intended way of killing that fire piranha plant is to go from that hole in the clouds and then land on his head, because of course Captain Toad can't jump. But we can actually just use the gyro to kill him. So here, I'm actually doing this backwards. You're kind of supposed to do it the other way around, but we can do this level this way. And this is slightly faster, saves a cycle or two. And that's the level. Actually, one of the faster Captain Toad levels. It's supposed to be really hard. But if you know your way around it and you're able to navigate through quick enough, you're able to get to those falling platforms as soon as the lava starts rising. As soon as the lava starts falling and the platforms are more available, you can then just skip that another cycle there. So this is the Mystery House level. We are going to use Luigi. Now, as I mentioned, there's a slight difference because this is an existing file. Because these stars are grayed out, the mystery box spawns a lot quicker. And also we don't get like lag frames or anything, as I mentioned earlier on. When we grab green stars and stamps and things. Also, because we've already got the stamps, we don't get the stamp cutscene. So I kind of make it an unwritten rule for myself to grab the stamps. Now here, this is the reason why this is technically World Crown Itemless Asterisk. Because I do need a fire flower for this. There is no way of doing that star without an item. So I will just take damage straight away. So it essentially doesn't give me any benefit. And then here, star is always in that box. This one, we want to just stand in the middle of these mini Goombas. Just get them all done. Here, this is also a funny baseball star. I want to get the hit on this enemy. Oh, that's not good. Okay, let me get it over to the corner. Okay, sure. That works. Okay, right. That was very impromptu, but whatever. So I should also talk about, now we're here, mystery houses are very lenient compared to stuff like their predecessor in 3D World. So I'm going to use ice momentum here to just zoom through. Oh, we took damage. That's not good. We can get a mushroom in a little bit, and mushrooms are actually allowed. This question mark box will always give us a cat suit. Mushrooms are allowed as per itemless rules, so I will still be making use of them. It's a very hard start coming up though. I will explain the leniency in a minute. We can pop those bricks using the gyro controls though. And I'm just gonna pop this spot. That's gonna give us a mushroom. So there's like 4 really hard stars back to back. There we go. So if I pop that again, it would give me a cat suit, so of course we can't take it. And then here, this is really hard itemless. If I do this dive too early, we're going to go in the other direction and lose. If I do it too late, we're going to end up bonking and being too late and losing. So that's a very precise one there. Also, the fact that I'm using Luigi, as I mentioned in World 6, we can literally just do that jump and then grab that green star. Here we can do just a wall jump. So there's a lot of these you can just kind of cheese a little bit. You still have to do them. Then we can kill those bullies with gyro. You do have to wait a little bit for that star to spawn. And this is an interesting one. If we are powered up, we can grab this without needing a higher platform. But if I was small Luigi there, I'd need to activate the next platform. Because the hitbox would be smaller. Here, I'm going to use gyro to hit these 2 piranha creepers just to make sure we don't take damage. Or at least minimize my chances. Here, if I don't use the bob-on properly, then we can't break through those grey bricks, but luckily we're fine. This is a very difficult star. I've actually lost lots of time in a 380 stars run to this star because sometimes the piranha plants just don't want to work. Yeah, definitely one to practice. Especially here. As long as you just stand still and let them do their thing, it normally works. Here, if you go from the right side, if you start wall jumping from the right side first, then that is a lot better than going from left side first. Otherwise, if you go from left side first, you have to do an extra jump, and then that's when the bullet bills start getting in there. It makes it so much harder. And then here, we're going to do one final level. Make sure I don't die. That'd be bad. And then that is the level. First try on both so far. This is setting a very high expectation for Champions Road. And as we've seen already, we can walk to the beginning of the world, and it will always put us at the first level. So we can just do that for a little bit of time save. Saves like a second or two. So we're now doing this with no Peach, itemless. No checkpoints on Champions Road. So here I am going to use gyro still. We're going to hit the charging chucks. Just get them out of the way a little bit. And then I can do a wall jump there. Do a little diagonal wall jump. This gets me over a little bit more. You don't actually have to do a diagonal there though. Sometimes it's hard to do a diagonal on the fly like that. And then here, it looks risky to do that, but every time I play safe there, or slow, I die. So I gotta just play that fast now. So there are no power-ups in this level, even if I wanted to grab them. There's no mushrooms or anything. And of course, no checkpoints. And a checkpoint would power me back up to the super form. But not having checkpoints means that that is not an option. So here, I am going to use gyro to just stun these spiked bars. And then here, I'm going to hopefully be fine. I always... it doesn't matter whether I play fast or slow there. I always take damage. It's fine. This means we're going to have no HP to burn on the final section. So normally you'd be able to climb the wall here with Catsuit. And then here you can actually do Champions Road skip here. So there is a wall on the left side of where that water bubble starts. If you climb that wall, you can just get straight into the clear pipe. It's not as easy as it sounds because you kind of have to re-grab the wall at a different angle and actually get in the clear pipe. So it's not easy, but you do skip this entire water section, which is good for a run that includes Champions Road. Also, worth noting, if you've never played this game before, and you've never had the experience of, this is 3D. This doesn't lock you to a 2D plane. If I held down here, I would fall out of the water bubble. That is the most mean thing in this entire game. I uphold that. That is so mean. And the amount of people that must have trolled that have played this level is just unreal. But, yeah. Anyway, here using boost pads. Worth mentioning, this... I have like a 30% success rate at this in this run. So I'm gonna be very quiet for this. There's no way I just did that first try. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Normally, every time... I think there was one time where I didn't even manage to beat this in 15 minutes. I can't believe that. This is like almost a PB. Wow, that's unreal. It might have been if I went for thank you skip. So I should also mention thank you skip. You can skip the pipes if you climb on them. But if you don't have a catsuit, that's just... You don't do that. You don't do that. You just don't do that. But that is the run. That's time. 9:12. Can't believe that. Wow. I know, I should have done thank you skip. It's worth mentioning this is not an actual run because technically you can't do the Mystery House itemless. But it's nice to show off. And I just can't believe I got all that first try. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the run. I will hand it back over to the host. Thanks everyone on hosting this event and on tech and everything, doing the best job as always. And yeah, stick around for the marathon. There's lots more to come.
Fantastic. Thank you, Smitty. That was an awesome little showcase there. And yeah, really, really, really fun to watch, and helps us get a little bit closer to being back on schedule as well. We are still a little ahead, but we are going to keep moving onwards. My time on the hosting desk has come to an end for now. I am very pleased to be able to hand over to our first ever volunteer host, Legetcha, who's going to be with you for the next few runs. So it's goodbye from me for now. Goodbye from Smitty.
Goodbye.
And stick around, folks, because coming up next, we have got HUD 601 with a very special Sonic Classic Trilogy run. We'll see what that's all about. See you in a few minutes.